Hello, everyone. This is the New Low News Show. My name is MC Graham, and to my right...
I am Atombomb.
And to my left...
King Kobe.
And we are broadcasting, recorded, in an undisclosed location in Middle River, Maryland. One step ahead of Johnny Law at all times.
We did think we were going to get Van today because our internet wasn't working, and then the power started flickering, and then... we heard this knock at the door. It said, FBI, freeze. And it was quite strange.
Turned out it was just the landlord, you know. But yeah, no, that was freaky. When the Wi-Fi wasn't working and then I switched over to the mobile network and that wasn't working, I'm like, this must be what...
Yeah, did it make you like panic a little bit?
No, but I was intellectually concerned. This could be how it all goes to shit.
How long does it take when you go without technology to feel funny? Yeah.
For me personally,
sure,
about 7 to 10 minutes.
I was gonna say 20 minutes. I highballed it.
I experienced this firsthand actually a couple days ago when my phone charger. I've been through about 5 or 6 aftermarket phone chargers. They keep breaking. Actually, the data cable itself, just spontaneously stops working.
Yeah.
Another one went out, and I could see the signs that it was failing, and I just didn't order a new one. I was like, it'll probably hold on, and then it just stopped working altogether. So then I was able to borrow a replacement from a friend, but I had to go about 5 painful hours with no phone. And I thought I was losing my fucking mind. Because I was thinking, like, what do people do when you just can't randomly check your phone, like, while you're running errands because you're bored?
Smoke cigarettes or something?
Yeah, but I quit. So I'm like... I just felt, like, at first I felt powerless because, like, it's one thing if you just say, okay, I'm not going to check my phone tonight.
Right.
It's another thing if that...
if you can't even.
Yeah. If that ability is deprived by material, just the facts of science are conspiring against you to keep you from, there's no way around it. You were stuck without a phone, So I felt powerless. I felt depressed. I felt
violated.
I felt like I started railing against foreign manufactured goods, being of low quality, like why can't I think I was talking to someone. I said, why don't things just fucking work, So yeah, I had a fucking meltdown.
It's the 21st century, for Christ's sakes.
How hard is it to manufacture a data cable, with their planned obsolescence, offshore labor, low standards, cutting corners, things aren't like they used to be, except, back in the day, they didn't have phones like this, so
Did
I
you
don't
start
know.
blaming the communists? Because then you just would have been off the fucking rail.
I got 5 hours, so maybe
hour 6, it was just like a fucking communist.
It's an international conspiracy to keep you constantly deprived. Yeah, no, so that was me for 5 hours.
And what did you feel when you got to use your phone again?
Actually... just back to normal.
Good,
yeah, just back to normal.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna scroll through the Hypnotic sort of.
Right. So it's kind of weird because it's not like a typical, let's say, drug withdrawal or something.
No, this is much worse.
The withdrawal is worse than the actual having it isn't really that great. You know, it's better, but.
On to the next one. 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 Hold up.
Well, actually, I was reading something a couple weeks ago. They said that they were actually studying people who play slots, like people who are heavy users of slot machines. Yeah. And they say that actually, contrary to popular belief, most people that play slots compulsively don't have much of an illusion about ever winning large quantities of money. Huh. They just like the hypnotic feeling.
I was going to say, just the flashy colors.
Yeah.
That's usually why I watch baseball.
Yeah, they just like the spinning wheels and stuff like that. So what they want is that state of just kind of I'm zoning out.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of felt when I got plugged in again. I can just scroll through the endless feed of just shit I don't even care about.
Right.
I've done that too, plenty of times. Yeah. Honestly, it's just I'm just kind of just feeding for some information, just quick info. And it's just I'll hit Facebook and then just kind of scroll down. It's oh, okay. I've already seen that. Close Facebook, and then right after I open up Facebook again, and I have no idea why. It's just oh, okay. I checked it. I just I didn't even realize that I just checked it, and now I have to check it again just see if there's other information, I guess. And then I check Twitter, and then there's just and then I then I get depressed because I can't read anything anymore.
And if you had, let's say, a device that wasn't a smartphone that you can necessarily get on Facebook, but rather just had flashing colors and lights and sounds, whatever you needed at the time.
Yeah.
You know, we should just fucking run an experiment. Like, honestly, like this, now that we're talking about it out loud, it sounds like it could be something useful. Like, could we just replicate the kind of the movements and the
Absolutely. I have an idea. So tell you what, we'll create an application that will just have kind of like this dissolving kind of screensaver with like all the colors on the spectrum just kind of fading in and out.
Yeah, but like together. A little more interactive or something.
A little bit more interactive. That way, if you just press like certain colors or whatever, it'll just give you facts about the day or an article to read or a quote from Mark Twain or some shit.
You know, I actually like that because it's very like non-transparent. So like you don't have like a ton of control over what.
Yeah, you don't.
Out. Yeah,
just like you push a color and then it's just like. That color.
There's less of like a echo chamber of what you're already interested in.
Yeah, like less of a circle jerk, you know.
Right.
So now someone's going to steal that idea.
Well,
so many good ideas.
Just slip through the fingers.
I don't know. Sometimes I get kind of skeptical of the internet, all it can do for us.
Yeah. Oh, I have like such a love-hate relationship with it now. Like, I mean, I'm in too deep. I'm like, there's really no turning back unless you drop me off in the middle of the woods with with no devices. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Like,
I'm all for technology. I love the advancements. I really do. Just any area of science, like even if it's just like fucking new social media, it's just like I think it'd be kind of cool. Anything that makes our lives just a tad bit easier, I think I like.
Well, like, why are you skeptical of it?
It's a little bit strange. Like, when I had an OkCupid account, it was like having a girlfriend, because it would constantly remind me, like, hey, you got, what's happening, bro? Like, I know it's a dating website. I don't know, I felt that invasiveness, sort of, when websites seem to have, like, a mind of their own kind of thing,
I see what you mean. Actually, I got creeped out, honestly, by this one website. I'm not sure if you've been on this section of the internet. It's called Google.
Is it like a web crawler?
It's a little different.
Okay.
Is it? I don't even know what the fuck web crawler is.
Web crawler was a search engine.
Oh, okay. Well, this is actually just on my phone. I have this app. It's basically Google search, but the part of it is called Google Now. So if you have a smartphone, you might know this and that. You can set up certain cards that you can scroll through. So these cards could contain information on the weather, certain stocks that you're following, sports teams, stuff like that. So then I updated the application and I found out that there was this new card for traffic. And it would tell me how long it would take me to get to work or get to a different place. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, all right, awesome, new card. So then it asked me right then and there, would you like to set this as work? And it gave the address to my work. Not like a GPS location, not, within like 10 or 20 meters or some shit. The legal address to this fucking place. And then Google freaked me out right there. I really was kind of creepy because basically something that's in your pocket, that data that's going off of a freaking satellite bouncing up and down, okay? Just in that time frame, that's somewhere at the Googleplex.
Right.
All of that is there because they said, it's like, hey, we saw that you travel here a lot. Would you like to set this place as work? So I said yes.
So you allowed Google to figure out. They already did.
They already knew. So it's like, all right, yeah, fine. And then when I got off of work, so I went home, I go back out and I, pull up the app again to, check my sports teams and shit like that. And then I see it's like, would you like to set this address as home? And I'm like, whoa, Google. Like, hold my phone.
I don't know you like that.
Hold my phone for a quick second, okay? So I didn't push yes right there. But then I was like, so I clicked yes eventually. It was like a day or two later.
It's all take a break.
It's all, it really was. It's like they already know. I mean, if you think about it this way, it's already been publicly, broadcasted that the NSA just like knows whatever you're doing anyway. So at this point, it's just like, what if like Google just says like, is it okay if we just kind of help you out with traffic, Adam? It's like, Adam, you okay? It's going to take you about 15 minutes. You're going to coast right down, on your usual route. It's like, hell yeah, Google.
So it'll sort of be like a buddy in your pocket.
Actually, it's kind of freaking me out right now again.
Well, like on one hand, maybe technology is not always benign. But on the other hand, there's kind of this like inevitability to it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're not going to not press the yes Google, access all my fucking personal information, listen to my phone calls, you know, look at me while I'm sleeping.
Well, I was going to say slave the microphone right now while it's in your pocket and
they can do
record
that.
what we're doing.
Yeah, they can do that.
Absolutely, I know they can. Yeah. You guys should note that too. I'm talking to you, the listener. You guys should note that too. I'm talking to you, the listener.
You might as well just be Amish. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
That's the only way. You need to
literally just go off the fucking grid.
Right. And that's kind of why the whole debate about NSA wiretapping and PRISM and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, I understand people's outrage, but the idea that public policy is going to tame this massive leviathan of technology, you know, just that if people have enough moral outrage, we can force the politicians who hate us anyway to enact a law that the NSA is actually going to follow. I feel like if you get the technology, someone is going to use it.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I also feel the same way about the drone program. Yeah, it might be kind of morally reprehensible to buzz around people's neighborhoods and incinerate them if one of them says something you don't like. But on the other hand, it's kind of like to not adopt that technology would put you in the same position as someone who didn't adopt the machine gun when it came out.
Yeah.
Either you adopt it or someone you don't like will, and then will eventually end up using it against you. So it's kind of like there's really no way to. You just have to let it run its course.
On to the next one.
Are you? I mean, that's what I was saying just previously. It was just like I love advances in technology. So I mean, yes, I was a little creeped out by what Google did, but at the same time, it's just what you're saying, like, it can't be stopped, so just go with it.
Right, and that's why there's a very interesting subset of left-wingers and some right-wingers called who refer to themselves as accelerationists.
Okay.
And their spiel is that capitalism, because right now so many critics of capitalism are very anti-modern. You know, they hate what the sort of the dominating, all-pervasive surveillance state and all that stuff. So they want to, so they actually want to kind of move away from that and maybe go back to simpler times where people can live in communities with each other or whatever. It's kind of feel-good bullshit like that. So the accelerationists say, actually, the real problem is that capitalism holds back technological progress. That if we kind of actually took away this insane profit-seeking motive and just let technology free, then we could come up with all kinds of crazy shit. Because not every good thing that you could do with technology
is going to make a profit.
Yeah. So that maybe what we need is not less but more. You know. And the fact that, and we already see this to some extent because there are so many people on the internet that program novel applications and just release them for free, you know?
Yeah.
So even in that case, you'd have to fight against Google, and everyone knows.
I mean, I was going to say, because Google actually does that, because like a lot of the things that they put like their R&D money into, they just kind of just put it right back out there.
Well, because they make all their money off ads.
Yeah, exactly.
90% of their revenues from ads. So the other shit, the cool stuff, they can just...
Because they don't really have a product.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just
have
software.
No, they have a great product. That product is, if you type in a keyword, it'll send you to the Wikipedia article about that keyword. That's it. That's their product. It's fucking brilliant.
You're right, actually, because a lot of the time, I've actually searched for, like, somebody wiki in Google. Like, I can just go to Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Like, because I'll be typing about, like, I want to learn about somebody, but then I'm like, wiki, because I want to read their wiki, and then I'm just there. Like, why did I even need that? Yeah. I don't know. I'm trained, you know?
It's like the only reason why Google exists is just, it's basically just a...
it's one step to Wikipedia.
Yeah. So it's a middleman, just like, oh, Wikipedia, here you go, Kobe.
Well, and their product is, on the side of that search result, they'll have, a bar or whatever that'll be like, do you want to buy this stupid bullshit, you know? And that's how they get their money.
Yeah. Here's sort of a trippy idea, you know. When you're logging on to your phone or your desktop computer or laptop or tablet or intracranial device, whatever you're using at the moment, are you totally controlling the experience? Or are you being guided, you know, by forces beyond your control?
You're being heavily you're being heavily manipulated on a lot of the main sites, you know. I mean, because Google, their search algorithm is not public, and actually a librarian who gave a talk at school when I was still enrolled, she said she did an experiment where she had people from multiple parts of the world all run the same Google News search results, and they all got different shit.
Wow.
You know? So, like, vastly different stuff. So, like, Google is, whatever algorithm
micromanaging.
Yeah, whatever algorithm they run, which they're not going to release, is micromanaging your search experience. And then on top of that,
this is why you got to go into the deep net.
I would not go there.
Many listeners might not even know what it is. I think Graham explained it to me.
I don't know much about it. It's just that there's this, I think it's related to onion routing or something like that, like secret websites like that.
Now, the deep net, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So deep web is something you can access using Tor, which is the main onion routing client, I believe. And I, as a regular user of 4chan, I've encountered people who have claimed to have gone on the deep web, and they say you will find disgusting things there. So I am like, you know what? I want to have nothing to fucking do with this. Going to 4chan has probably already put me on a fucking list.
But it would be a more freer, sort of experience.
Well, that's
they're not monitoring the deep net.
If I was the government, I certainly would be.
Really.
Like, if this is a place, because the people claim that onion routing is totally secure. That's actually, there are security liabilities.
Right.
And if I was the NSA or whoever, I would
Be all up in there.
latch the fuck onto those. The only way I would say that if you could have a reasonably secure communication, I wouldn't fuck around with any onion routing. I wouldn't fuck around with anything you do online. Google's handing all that shit over to the federales. The moment, actually probably before you write it, they already have enough personal data about you that they could mimic your communication patterns. What you do is you think of a coding system. You write that you and your friends agree on. You write it down, coded message, right? Longhand. The person reads the message,
a piece of paper with a pen,
and then burns it. And that is probably the only way that you could have like a genuinely secure communication.
Yeah.
And maybe in the future,
that's actually how Osama bin Laden was talking.
Yeah.
He was passing letters.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, and that's like why some people were showing skepticism about the whole, because those embassies were closing all over the Middle East and stuff, because allegedly Al-Qaeda had a conference call. It's like, dude, those people don't get on the phone. They have couriers and stuff. Maybe they were, actually online, but that was a cause of skepticism. The fact that these people who are extremely cautious in their communications were suddenly popping up to see how everyone's doing.
I'm just going to try an experiment here. I'm going to type in a couple of words for a sentence and via text message to Graham, because what Graham says is like how how one of these algorithms can predict what you say. It already exists in a cell phone.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. I'm at okay. So then it gives you
wow.
It gives you predictions on what your next word is going to be.
Predictive text. Right?
Yeah, I'm at the liquor store.
But yeah, that's more. Because I still have a stock HTC Incredible 1, that has outlasted, like I said, 6 aftermarket phone chargers. So yeah, they don't have that on
See,
mine.
I do have predictive text, but it's not very accurate in my case because I don't text a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I have like word predictive text, but not like next word.
Not
this is like
so it's your
phrase
words
prediction
that you've used.
Yes, it's phrase prediction based on how often like those two words kind of come together.
So really, after you have enough like data of somebody using the internet, texting, that kind of thing, phone, you could probably just mimic their presence. Like in fact, this is going to be part of my will when I die. I want to continue to exist online.
You will. There's actually a company that actually already does that. So based on like how much data they can actually get from like your Facebook profile, there are certain things that they can do and post on your behalf.
What? Oh, come
to mimic what Kobe would actually put up. That's what I heard. Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
That is fucking weird.
Well, because then it's like, why am I even here? I can just cut it right now, put the program on.
The algorithm will go through, right? Share, anarchist, images. Share,
Right. There'll be a certain rhythm to it.
They could Dawkins quotes,
Probably even replicate you get enough of my recorded voice, and you could then shuffle it around and just generate news shows.
When I'm 119 years old, it's going to be the two of you guys in holographic form. I'll be, just injecting pure oxygen or somehow into my blood. And then just to breathe one last time. Welcome to the New Load News show.
I kind of want to go a bit of a different route. When I die, after I'm dead, I want you to contact the NSA. Just go write them a letter, maybe show up on the premises or whatever, and tell them that I want Graham Andrews's entire search history, and then what I want you guys to do with that is publish it unedited. The whole thing.
Leak it, you know?
Yeah, leak the whole damn thing. All the fucking weird shit I've looked at, I don't care. Just put it all out there. But not while I'm
not
that,
while you're alive.
Yeah.
You have to be dead.
Yeah,
really dead.
Yeah, really. Be sure I am fucking never coming back. Because
Yeah, I think. I feel like that might even be a little wild for the NSA to do that.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to figure out ways to have better public outreach. So why can't they do?
Yeah,
cool
they
shit?
could do little services for you like that. Like, hey, we're collecting all the data on you, and would you like it?
Yeah.
Would you like to know what you've been doing?
Yeah.
On to the next one. 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 Hold up.
The thing is I heard that there is this chemical in microwave popcorn. My mother actually told me about this. Mm-hmm. And with this chemical, I have no idea what it's called. I don't even know if it's for flavoring, for a preservative, or just another fucking thing that they put into a bag of unpopped popcorn.
Is it a GMO?
I have no idea. Yeah. So apparently this chemical has been basically directly linked to cancer somehow. And the government basically gave the popcorn companies, I don't know, call it until the year 2014 or something, to get rid of the chemical from their product. And then redistribute, microwave popcorn. And I don't know if that really matters. I'll totally eat the shit out of microwave popcorn still. I think it's delicious.
I just think it's a little...
Maybe it's that chemical that makes it so delicious.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to learn, but I was a little put off because I was like, I just offered you some popcorn, man. Now you're talking about cancer and,
I can't do it because it causes cancer. It's not that, I mean, like I said, I don't give a shit because... I have 4 equals in my morning cup of coffee, and if I have another,
she'll kill rats, man.
Absolutely. Oh yeah,
I don't know why that matters for you.
And I smoke. That's the thing. That's the fucking problem. It's Adam, don't eat microwave popcorn. That'll cause cancer. It's just are you out of your mind?
Well, it's like the people that go to McDonald's, get a huge meal, but I'll get a Diet Coke.
Oh yeah,
because that's
really what's killing you right there.
Yeah. It's not the 800 calories that you're consuming in one sitting.
Right.
But,
I think McDonald's food is actually the densest food on the planet, as far as calories per gram.
Right.
Yeah. No, I was reading some...
Because you eat, a few burgers. Just have a few burgers, and it's all your calories for the day right there.
Yeah, I wanted to see once how hard it would be to stick to a 2,000 calorie diet with just McDonald's.
Oh wow, that would be kind of tough.
Because I know there was that Supersize me where the dude
just every time he was hungry.
Yeah,
right.
Whereas
I thought the rules were he had to eat McDonald's 3 times a day. That's what I thought it was.
Might be. That's why he got so fucking sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's fucking. It's it's.
I mean, I remember in that documentary, I think it was just, I don't know if it was a specific doctor just for the show or if it was his doctor, his primary care. I have no idea. But his doctor was literally he was so flabbergasted by what he was doing to his body. He said to the guy, it's if you were an alcoholic, I would tell you that you're going to die. Because his liver was just, was kind of it was kind of shot. It was mimicking kind of a fatty liver, which leads to cirrhosis, if I'm not mistaken.
It can.
Yeah. And then you die.
And and it's just not fair. Cirrhosis from McDonald's. I'd much rather get cirrhosis from alcohol.
But speaking of burgers, though, did you guys hear about where they grew the burger, in a petri dish?
I was pretty excited about this. I found out about that they were trying to do this 3 or 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually they take stem cells and then they replicate them from the muscle of a cow. And it's not exactly let's say, ground beef, because it probably never could be. But, it's essentially a burger that's created without having to cause the death of a cow in any way, and in a lab by scientists. And it was taste tested by a couple food writers, and I believe the scientist himself.
Yeah, and they had, I think it was a 5-ounce patty was what they had to work
Everyone
with.
had,
yeah.
And I just think it's pretty cool. I want to live in a future where meat is something that we just create in a lab, people are paid well to do, hopefully, rather than something that really happens behind closed doors. I mean, if you want to get into all that, and I don't suggest it, just Google like what happens on agricultural like meat farms, and you'll be disgusted, or you won't care. But in any case, we don't have to cause all that suffering. We can let all the chickens, all the domesticated chickens and pigs, just right out the door, just push them right into the cities.
Get out, you're free.
And just start making meat like we do, Rubik's Cubes or staplers or something like that.
It's kind of funny that you mentioned that too, because there was an article that I read recently, I think you guys heard about it, where they were going to develop a way to print food. So like with a 3D printer.
Oh, yeah.
And like the first food was going to be pizza. And like the practical application of this would be basically kind of like for space travel, for astronauts and stuff like that.
Right.
So for example, like if the technology is even perfected, say like in 100 years on the new International Space Station, that probably costs like 3 times of what, the one up there will cost right now. You could just, basically just punch in a few numbers and then you have like a burger, bacon, whatever the hell you want. Yeah. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I don't know.
Just printed right in front of you.
I think I'm too much of a pessimist, but I like whenever I hear about these like novel sort of constructs, I always, 2 things always occur to me, which is how easy is this going to be to industrialize? So it's not just a matter of a team of scientific specialists
can make one burger.
Can make one burger that 2 dudes in England get to try, but can we make this a process that can be distributed and replicated quite, like without too much of a headache?
Efficiently.
Yeah, and in addition to that, what kind of energy input does it take, or is it going to take, to develop these foods? Because if it's more energy efficient to just raise a cow and kill it than it is to make
a
burger
in a lab,
in a lab or a factory or something like that, then you're still not necessarily doing the environment
any good,
a ton of favors, because that energy needs to come from somewhere, and either the sources of that are unclean or they're finite or some mixture of the two.
Part of the $50K a year plan will just make sure that everyone has solar panels.
Yeah, that could be it. Okay. Yeah, like if we, like a solar hamburger factory for every town.
Graham, I'm usually a pessimist too. But let me tell you a little tale that someone told to me. There's a little girl stopping tortoises from, how tortoises hatch and they all flee to the ocean.
Yeah.
And a lot of them get eaten by birds and hawks and shit. It's just the course of nature. It's just Darwin at work.
Right.
And, she was taking these turtles and taking the ocean and throwing them, just trying to protect them as many as they could. An old man comes up to her and says, "Why are you doing that? They're just going to die anyway, probably. Or, you're interfering with nature." She says, "Well, it matters for that one turtle."
So what are you trying to say?
I'm saying that it may be more energy efficient to raise a cow and kill it for food and leather or whatever you need, but you're doing the cow a huge favor if you don't kill it. So that's why I support lab-grown meat.
Oh yeah. No,
what about the methane that a cow produces?
That's another issue.
I mean, if we didn't kill all the cows, then we'd probably die.
So are you saying that maybe cows and humans are locked in a bitter struggle with one another?
Oh, absolutely. You got to breed the cows, but then you have to kill them. That way, just like, what's it? The ozone layer still sticks around.
Yeah. Well, just like look at India, where they're supposed to coexist with cows, and it's chaos.
I don't know if that's true.
That's true. Probably not. That's my impression.
YouTube is just overrun with like videos of just cows going fuck nuts in India. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, actually, I did. An Indian friend of mine did post a picture of a cow getting on a bus. And no one was stopping it because they're sacred. You can't touch them. So, like, if a cow wants to get on a bus, then it's
fucking it's pandemonium.
So who's really in control of that situation?
No one has control.
It's anarchy. But I wanted to talk more generally about. I've always wondered what's the most healthy diet for me personally to eat. And it's been hard to nail down. I've tried vegetarianism, veganism briefly, but that wasn't going to last. And now I'm trying this thing called the paleo diet, right? Where I'm only supposed to eat what people ate in the Paleolithic era before agriculture. So anything you is agriculturalized can't eat. So shit like grains, rice, anything you grow in fields like that. So
Even bread.
Basically anything you could theoretically hunt or gather, even though I'm not hunting or gathering it, is good. And I don't know, slim down a little bit.
You look good.
I don't know if it's healthy in the long run. Maybe it's probably devastating in the long run. I don't even understand why. But I don't know what diets you guys played around with any or.
Well, right now I'm on a gluten-free diet. It's kind of like halfway paleo because I can't eat anything that contains gluten, which is some grains, but I can still eat other grains like rice, beans, beans aren't a grain, but they're a legume, which paleo people don't consume. So I'm doing it mostly because just to see if it improves my energy, like if I can, because I'm working a day job now, and I have to be up and active for like.
Now, could you tell me what's the big deal with this gluten-free thing? I can't get a handle on it, man. I know some people have celiac disease, and they're advised medically to not eat gluten. But is there any alleged or proven advantage for other people to not eat gluten, or does it do something bad?
Well, some people allege that there are people out there that are sensitive to gluten, even if they are not fully celiac. So it's so they just have a bad reaction, but not a terrible reaction to it. So maybe if you are one of those people, cutting it out of your diet can help you feel better. And then also, when you think about it, gluten is either the main, figures quite prominently or is an additive to a bunch of foods that are probably not great for you to begin with. Okay. So if you're not eating fried chicken because it's breaded and fried and the breading contains wheat and wheat contains gluten, then you're so if you're not
still avoiding an unhealthy food incidentally.
Right. But that being said,
in a lot of ways, you can't. There's no fast food you can eat.
Right. Well, see, that's the thing. I've tried very hard to find junk food that is gluten free, and
does not exist.
So Doritos are actually. I was fucking shocked. I discovered this today at the 7-Eleven, and I was just curious. I just flipped the bag over, and it was does not. The only thing it contains is milk, and they have to list all the allergens it contains, of which wheat is one that they list. And I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. There are 300 ingredients in this stupid thing.
Yeah, they're all chemicals. Probably chemicals they put in popcorn or something.
Probably the chemicals that will figure prominently in the future lab-grown hamburgers or something. But yeah, no wheat, so it's good. So you can still eat, and that's the thing. It's not a cure-all because you can still avoid gluten and still eat garbage and drink sodas and stuff like that. Yeah. So, but I'm going to give it a shot. Maybe feel a little better. Maybe not. I do feel like I have slightly more energy, but that could also be the placebo effect. So who knows?
And also, you're only in your first week of gluten-free. So I remember when I dieted, I wasn't even doing a specific diet. I was just...
Were you doing the eat less calories diet?
I was just counting calories. I really was. And in doing that, I ate more fish as opposed to, just chicken, I guess, for dinner. I eat more soups, just lower calories, and just obviously with the broth, it just feels with the liquid,
sticks to your ribs a little more.
It just makes you feel a bit more full, it just triggers that fucking thing. It's oh, I'm full. Stop eating, you fat piece of shit.
Right. Yeah. Like that thing that potato chips and chocolate never triggers.
Never does.
But I remember that you were talking about how you cut pizza.
I didn't eat pizza for an entire year. Yeah,
and that's a big deal if you know Adam personally.
Oh my god, pizza! My entire family. It's just they were wondering how I did it. And I asked them. I was like, "What's my favorite food?" Pizza. All right, I didn't eat pizza for an entire year. I was counting calories, and then it was. I tried it for I think 3 days. I was counting carbs. And I was like, I just can't do this. This is just I'm sitting in a fucking restaurant trying to look up the menu with no signal. My phone's dying. just you know what? Just give me the bread. Just give me the fucking bread, okay? And it worked out for a while, and then I had a sweet, delicious chicken cheesesteak stub one week, and I'm like, wow. Okay, that was really good. And the next week, it was really good, but I was just okay, just got it. It was good, but not that good. So then it was the next week I had
a little bit of a relapse.
Yeah, a little bit of another relapse, and then the next week I had chicken fettuccine Alfredo. It's this really kind of creamy sauce and some broccoli. I'm like, this is really good. And then it was just kind of like the snowball effect. It's like, yeah, I'm not gaining any weight. Like, it's 2 weeks, I've eaten like shit. How about that? And then you just feel like, and then it just slowly, literally just grows back on you. So all in all, I probably lost about an average of 45 pounds. So
that's really impressive, man.
Yeah, just based on counting calories and just dieting. I mean, there were probably some days where I just wasn't actually eating enough. So I think like the clinical term for that is being awesome and not anorexic.
Are you pro-Anna, Adam? Is that
yeah, pro-Anna, right? No, honestly, it's just, if I was going to do it, I should have done it correctly. Probably like actually talk to my doctor about a diet or even see a nutritionist.
We'll see.
Because counting calories, that only goes so far as in just obviously just measurable energy that you're putting into your body. But actually eating healthy, that's a completely different story.
And also starting up an exercise regime or something.
Absolutely, yeah. But that was another thing. I never even exercised.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Okay, like, I know I've heard and seen a lot of people say that, like, obesity, which is fucking rampant in this country, it's genetic. There's nothing, diets don't work. I've seen people on multiple occasions say diets don't work, and I always want to tell them, okay, look, maybe I should be a health coach or something. I will follow you the fuck around.
Yeah.
For 6 weeks, and like I will like monitor.
Monitor and then point out like what's bad about this.
No, I will take it.
I was gonna say just slap him right across the face.
It's like a step above a life coach or a sober buddy or whatever.
No joke, dude. I bet you $20 somebody would pay you $10,000 to do that.
Maybe we should cut this and not.
Not give away the business plan. But yeah, like if I keep you under 1,500 fucking calories, you'll lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee, without changing any other fucking thing about your life, I will guarantee that. For pretty much anyone, unless you have some weird glandular disease, at which point I'm not a doctor, but so
it's good that you said that. Just
I can't
for liability purposes.
So Graham, you're saying,
and by Thinsplaining here a little bit, you're
saying that people get fat because they eat too much food.
That is, I believe. There is a strong correlation between those two.
Without exercising.
Yeah.
Okay, because I saw this image on Facebook a few weeks ago, and it was of a quite obese woman, just obviously. She was wearing a bikini. And incidentally, she wasn't attractive, but she had, if she had a pretty face, I'd say so, but she didn't either. So she had a sign that said something like, fat is not a dirty word, and like, I'm beautiful or proud to be beautiful or something like that. And the comment section was like so awesome, like, just full of people, defending her, people Thin-Splaining, but yeah, that was my side essentially. I was like, all right, she could it's her prerogative. She's free to get fat, say I'm fat and beautiful if she wants.
But just there are so many freaking like health risks to even kind of like idolize that kind of lifestyle, though. Well, heart disease, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes. Yeah. It's just like, why the hell would you? And people already, I don't want to talk about healthcare, but this is just real quick. People already pay so much money, if they are diabetic. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you really don't get to reap the government benefits until you get Medicare. And it's just like, that's wow.
Well, two things on that. Like, I had to go to a cardiologist once because my doctor will literally run down if there's a single thing that is slightly off about me when I go see him. He'll be like, all right, you have a little bit of a heart, just it barely like it's fluttering a bit. We gotta refer you to a specialist, something like that. So I went there and he's like, you are like way skinnier than like literally all of my other patients. Like, you're probably the only skinny person who comes in here.
Right.
Go away. And another thing, well, speaking of fat shaming and Thinsplaining, there's this guy I used to follow on Twitter who is a professor in one of those probably lame schools down in the Southwest. He teaches like some sort of evolutionary psych or whatever, and he tweeted something out, which is, attention fat PhD candidates. If you can't cut the carbs, you don't have the willpower to get a doctorate, right? And so, so he tweeted this, and a shitstorm erupted, right? And, he set his Twitter account to private,
Yeah.
And, people were writing articles about it, he was fat shaming, etc. like that. Anyway, and so I just discovered this week that he had been formally censured by the university.
Wow.
That he cannot sit on any... Because from the university's perspective, that's fucking dynamite. If you have a professor saying that they're not letting certain people into a PhD program, next thing you know, an overweight person gets denied, they point out one of his tweets, they go to court, the university loses a lot of money, so I can see their whole sort of self-interested thing going on.
Absolutely.
But so he's censured, he can't sit on any admissions committees, which I thought was totally reasonable.
Yeah.
But the third thing, which set me the fuck off, was that they brought in a diversity coach who was going to explain to everyone at the university how being overweight was a diversity issue. And I was like, okay, let's just fucking cut to the chase. Let's just make good and bad off limits. You can no longer criticize anyone's behavior. Right? You cannot say being overweight is bad. You can't say murder is bad. You're being judgmental, right? A murderer is just someone who refused to check his homicide privilege, right? Who are you to judge him? What, your sane privilege, like your non-criminal privilege, And
maybe I just don't understand that type of lifestyle,
right?
So maybe I should just stand back and just say, hey, you want to murder?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
No judgment. No judgment.
Right. No, that's the thing.
You're not crazy. I'm not crazy either, because you can't judge me either.
Yeah, there's no, or maybe we should just ban language, Because, if I say something, right, there's probably some way in which what I'm saying could be considered insulting. For example, if I say that the driver in front of me is an asshole, right, because he's driving too slow, well, I have suddenly cast judgment on his lifestyle choices, and you're not allowed to do that. So let's just, for everyone's feelings, let's ban all human communication. So let's not stop at language, because art is probably also a source of great suffering, or it can be. So, and I'm just thinking in the future, maybe 100 years from now, when we get to the factory farm meat stage of civilization, we can also get to the no contact with reality stage too. Maybe it's safer that everyone just not...
Well, just live in our PlayStation 9s or something like that.
Yeah. Just be like the Matrix or whatever.
Right, yeah. But in the Matrix, there's too much people talking to each other. This will be
but what about the
solo Matrix?
What about the original Matrix?
Right.
That the architect originally designed? A perfect world.
Okay.
Yeah, no war, all peace. Everybody loves each other.
It sounds awful. So yeah, no, but it just drew me up the wall, because I was like, I can see why you're gonna try to tell a professor that he can't go fat shaming on a public Twitter account, which is tied to the university. I can understand that shit.
Yeah, well, but the whole idea that obesity is a diversity issue is patently absurd. Are there Bushmen in Africa that are 400 pounds? Is it 10% of every population? No, it's just here, pretty much in the UK. And to say that it's not, caused by diet in some sense is absurd.
Yeah.
And, people can get fat if they want, but most people that are fat, got that way sort of accidentally or something, because they weren't, paying much attention to their diet or lifestyle.
Yeah. Well, and it also kind of it prevents you from if everyone is beautiful in their own way, then suddenly beauty is no longer an important term.
Right. What is, if everyone's beautiful, then no one is.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
yeah, well, that's gonna be my campaign. I'm ugly and I'm proud.
Yeah. Check your attractiveness privilege.
Yeah.
Or why is the university discriminating against smart people? They let smart people in. Why not just let in idiots? So
the bottom line, well, for one, Graham, I wanted to clarify something. Do you think obesity is as bad as murder?
That's actually not a bad question. Just to clarify, I think it's kind of funny.
I'm going to go on a limb and say that, would you rather be a skinny murderer or... now I'm just fucking with you.
Would you rather be murdered by a skinny guy? Or woman? Or...
what costs the country more money,
Well, and that's the final point. Is equality a good or necessary thing?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably no.
And I mean sort of an egalitarianism, sort of an equality in all areas of life. You know, yeah, legal equality is one issue, equality before the law is one issue, but should we, you know, like kind of, I don't know, what we've been talking about, respect every individual equally, regardless of any quality they may possess?
No, I don't necessarily think so, because like then, like I was saying, like if you say that everyone is beautiful, suddenly no one is. You know, the term loses all meaning.
Right.
So it's kind of like in order to have you know, the higher things in life, there's going to have to be some differences, and also nature produces inequality as a matter of course. You know, some people are stronger, faster, smarter, whatever than others. I don't think, you know, like in terms of economics or whatever, like I don't see the reason why we need to have super rich people, like, you know, the 0.1% of the world that controls all the money and resources, and then everyone else. So I would say that maybe if you're going to pick a type of equality that is important, I think economic equality is probably the most.
On to the next one, on to the next one,